Imagine, you're a child, full of potential, but you've made a few mistakes. You're rebellious, angry, lost. Your parents, desperate to help you, send you away to a special school, a place where troubled children are supposed to find their way. You're told it's a safe environment, a place where professionals will fix you. But what you don't know is that this place isn't there to help you. It's there to break you. This is the chilling story of the School of Pain, a place that promised redemption but delivered hell. A place that used techniques far darker than anyone could imagine, hidden behind the mask of discipline and therapy. A place where children were subjected to pain, fear, and manipulation in the name of help. But Dr. Graves, the man behind it all, wasn't just a psychologist. He was a master manipulator. He knew exactly how to twist minds, how to make children break without leaving a mark. His experiments were more than just therapy. They were designed to make you forget who you were, to strip you of your humanity. In this video, we dive deep into the horrific methods of the School of Pain, unraveling the twisted mind games, torment, and psychological manipulation that kept children captive both physically and mentally. Get ready to step into a world where safety was an illusion and survival came at a horrific cost. Chapter 1: The Promise of Redemption. It all began in the early 2000s. Dr. Philip Graves, a well-respected psychologist, built a new school in a quiet, rural area, far removed from the chaos of the city. The school was a supposed sanctuary for children who had lost their way. It was officially named New Horizons School for Youth Reformation, a name that promised hope and a chance for a better future. Parents of troubled teens saw it as their last chance to save their children from lives of crime, drug abuse, or rebellion. The school's brochures boasted about expert therapists and revolutionary techniques. It promised to give each child the discipline they needed to thrive, but most importantly, it promised that their kids would come home fixed, transformed. But what parents didn't know was that the word reformation had a different meaning in Dr. Graves's twisted vision. Behind the white walls and carefully manicured lawns, a terrifying experiment was unfolding. One that would break these children in every sense of the word, turning them into something unrecognizable. Dr. Graves didn't believe in healing. He believed in control. He believed in the power of breaking a person down piece by piece until they were no longer the people they once were. His therapy wasn't about healing wounds. It was about creating new, compliant personalities. His experiments weren't for curing. They were designed to reshape the mind. And at the heart of it all, he played on fear. Chapter 2: The Methods Behind Closed Doors. As soon as the students entered, their identities were stripped away. The uniforms they were forced to wear were bland, simple, and dehumanizing. No personal belongings, no photos, no letters from their families. Their very existence became a uniformity, a sameness, a blank canvas for Dr. Graves to manipulate. They were told that these rules were in place to help them focus, to learn discipline. But behind this superficial discipline was something far darker. The real training began almost immediately. Dr. Graves had carefully crafted a system that would slowly strip away the children's self-worth, bit by bit, day by day. It started with the isolation. No friends, no family, no support. The children were placed in solitary confinement for hours, sometimes days, for any perceived misstep. There were no windows, no clocks, no way to mark time. Everything was designed to disorient and confuse them. No distractions, only their own thoughts and fears. At first, children were subjected to strange psychological tasks where they had to reveal personal secrets or perform menial labor. These exercises were designed to make them feel exposed, vulnerable, and powerless. The sleep deprivation was the first major assault on their mental state. Dr. Graves would allow only a few hours of sleep each night. He'd often drag students out of their rooms in the middle of the night, forcing them to do physical exercises while others watched. The fear of failure haunted them. They were constantly under threat of punishment. Chapter 3. The Experiments. Dr. Graves had perfected a new form of psychological torture, the experiment. These were not simple behavioral tests. They were designed to break a child's mind. One of the first experiments was deceptively simple. The children were given two options. They could either work in the garden all day under the blistering sun or endure electric shocks. These were no small shocks either. They were enough to make the children scream in pain, yet not enough to kill them. The moment a child hesitated, they were forced into the worst option. Some chose the shock to avoid the excruciating manual labor. Others tried to escape, but that led to far more brutal punishments. The next experiment involved sensory deprivation. A child would be locked in a completely dark room for up to 72 hours. No sounds, no light, only their own thoughts, which would begin to unravel as time passed. Their minds would begin to erode. They would become disoriented, anxious, and desperate for any form of contact. Dr. Graves would then introduce strange reward systems. He'd allow a child to have a small moment of freedom, maybe a few minutes outside or a piece of candy. These were brief moments of kindness, meant to manipulate them into thinking they could earn their freedom. But when the moment passed, the child would find themselves back in darkness or worse. Chapter 4. The Struggle to Survive. As the days passed, the children became more and more aware of the stakes. Survival was no longer a simple matter of just living. It became a game of manipulation. To survive, they needed to anticipate Dr. Graves's next move, to predict his moods. Some children learned to blend in, to do exactly what they were told without resistance, while others tried to escape mentally, creating imaginary worlds inside their minds. One particularly shocking survival mechanism was the act of playing along. Students began to mimic the behavior Dr. Graves wanted. They learned to accept his kindness with gratitude, to beg for forgiveness when they made mistakes. Those who resisted or rebelled were punished far more harshly, sometimes with days of isolation, sometimes with physical pain. One child, a 15-year-old boy, tried to escape. He didn't have a plan. He was desperate. He managed to make it to the school gates, but just as he tried to run, the guards caught him. They brought him back in front of the group, and Dr. Graves made him apologize. He wasn't allowed to leave the room for days, and when he finally emerged, his face was drained, his eyes hollow. Chapter 5. The Discovery. In 2008, one student finally broke free of the horrors. Alex, now a grown man, managed to escape during one of the school's unmonitored times. He ran into the nearest town, breathless, wild-eyed. When he saw a police officer, he collapsed at their feet and begged them to listen. He spoke of the abuse, the fear, the darkness that had consumed his soul for years. At first, no one believed him. But Alex's story started a chain reaction. Other former students came forward, each revealing the same shocking truth. Police began investigating the school, and to their horror, they uncovered files detailing the various experiments Dr. Graves had conducted on the children. The abuse, however, wasn't just physical. It was psychological, deeply ingrained, and left permanent scars on the survivors. Dr. Graves disappeared before he could be arrested. Some say he went into hiding, while others believe he escaped the country. To this day, no one knows where he is. Chapter 6. Aftermath and Legacy. The survivors of Dr. Graves' school tried to rebuild their lives, but the trauma remained. The memories of the cold, calculated cruelty lingered in their minds. They started advocacy groups for survivors of abusive institutions, trying to warn others about the dangers of places like New Horizons. Some survivors sought therapy, trying to reclaim their sense of self. Others struggled for years, haunted by the methods Dr. Graves used to break them. Their lives would never be the same. But the most chilling question remains: how many other schools like this are out there? Finale. A warning. The story of Dr. Graves and his School of Pain is not just a reminder of one man's twisted experiments. It's a reminder of the vulnerabilities within institutions meant to help. It shows how easily a person can be manipulated, how a mask of discipline can be used to justify unspeakable actions. If you found this video unsettling, remember, sometimes the monsters wear the faces of saviors. Share this story and stay aware, because some horrors don't have to be invisible.